This video is sponsored by Full Reptile Collective, brought to you by Dan Hardy. Head over to their website at fullreptile.co.uk where you can find anything from training gear, t-shirts, hoodies, all the way to coffee. For an exclusive 10% off, use Dan Said So at checkout. Make sure to also check out their YouTube channel for some of the best MMA content out there, bar my own. Let's get back to the video. Alright guys, main event, or opening the main card on UFC 275, we have Jack Della Maddalena versus Ramazan Emeev. Very odd fight, my opinion, for Emeev to take on someone so dangerous and with the hype of Maddalena, especially how he looked against, be it a 4-0 guy that didn't belong in the UFC, but showed Maddalena's level coming off the Contender Series, where he's got some of the sharpest boxing I've seen in a while for someone with very little experience. You know, Australia got a new guy on the block here. He's 25 years old. He's got a hook as bent as his nose. He's an absolute glorious striker. Really good one to watch here. And Ramazan's in for a real trick if he can't beat Danny Roberts and you're going against someone like Jack Della here. So what's your feeling straight away when you see the matchup?
You know, for me, Emeev has underwhelmed me his entire UFC run. Like the whole thing. He ekes by wins and they aren't very impressive. Fluidity is not the name of the game with Ramazan at all, and for Jack it is. And he's incredibly fluid on the feet. He's piecing together the whole game overall. The Contender Series fight is a much more telling fight for me for Jack Della than the Blood Diamond fight, obviously. Beating a guy like Ange Lusa. Very, very good win there. And a guy who definitely is mixing it up and testing it. Jack Della started 0-2, and now look at where he's at. So, getting knocked out in a few of those early fights is, no joke at all. Ramzan is, according to, his bio, 35 years old. Yeah, I mean, for me, I think that Jack Della is so ready for this fight. I'm so glad that they're booking up a fight like this. I'm glad it's on the main card. I think Jack Della has potential star abilities in him, honestly. And not saying superstar, but I think he can be a real talent in this division for a long time to go. And I think Emeev is done. I just think that his days are well behind him for this. I think that I think a real key with this for Jack is that he's got to be able to, stay on the outside and keep this fight on the outside. And that will be using, I think, a lot of body and leg work early. I don't think he's going to be headhunting early. I think he's going to be really composed early in this fight, which would be surprising for Jack.
And Emeev, it's nice to point out here, he's got 7 fights in the UFC and he is a favorite in all of them opening, including over Stefan Sekulic here. He opened as a -700 favorite. You should never ever be a -700 favorite as Emeev. And he grinded a decision against Stefan in that fight.
Nicholas Stoltz fight. He grinded a decision against Alvey.
Yeah, exactly. That was one thing I wanted to bring up here. He has fought at middleweight and he's a big welterweight. Do you feel like his wrestling game and pressure is something that obviously it's going to be his game plan? There's no way he's going to stand and trade with Jack Della here. No a chance. He's going to end up like Pete Rodriguez did. Just bloody mess on the floor within 4 minutes. So do you think
him cutting down to 170 is not good?
Yeah. So the thing is, it's going to affect him bad, or is it going to affect him good? So you think obviously it's going to affect him really badly here? Is it? It's not done great for him.
Anthony Rocco controlled him with leg kicks for the entire fight.
Yeah.
When Anthony Rocco is able to become a striking savant on you because it's that easy to kind of
when he doesn't need to get a body lock on you.
Yeah, Jack Della is bigger and better than Anthony Rocco as a striker. And I think he follows that. It's very similar. I think Jack Della is going to light him up with leg kicks throughout this fight. And I don't think that, I think that it's like, he could catch him and get the takedown. Emeev is not that kind of wrestler. He's not that fast. And he doesn't check leg kicks.
He struggled against Nicholas Stoltz to get Nicholas down a few times.
Exactly. Yeah. And Jack Della, I do think has shown improved takedown defense, showed it with Lusa and in other fights. Yeah, for me, I really like Jack Della to put up a statement here. And, this is a fight that if he gets a finish in, he's staying on main cards for not just fight night cards. He's in the contention for a main card for a pay-per-view.
Well, that's it. This is his second fight in the UFC since Contender Series. The first one, obviously, in the Ngannou Garn card, where he got a late replacement, I think, wasn't it? It was meant to be Wally Alves,
Yep.
and it turned into Pete Rodriguez. But now he's opening the main card on 275. It's not on a prelim, and you're
Right.
against Emeev, who's not a draw. So obviously, the UFC are rating Jack Della very highly here, as well as us fans. So yeah, I mean, I'm agreeing with you 100%. I can't see any way he doesn't butcher his legs, stop that movement, and try and just counteract the striking with. Counteract the grappling with his heavy.
My question is, does he finish him or not? Because I am pretty confidently on Jack Della here.
I think he does.
Yeah.
I think he does. He's got that swag about him where he's so confident with his striking.
Be a very impressive finish.
Yeah, because Emeev is tough to finish. We'll give him that. He is tough to finish. David Zawada, couldn't get it. Danny Roberts, I mean,
there's a split.
If you can't beat Danny Roberts, I like Danny.
We saw how Danny looked in his last fight
against a 147-year-old Trinaldo. So, and we both had Roberts in that. So, Jack Della's coming up with all the hype, and we're so confident on him. I'd be shocked if Emeev does any real damage to Jack, to be honest.
Yeah, I really don't see it happening, and maybe Emeev wins a round, but I think that's about it. I think that this is a passing of the torch. I think that sometimes the UFC tries to a little bit boxing it with the matchup here, and I think they are to try to set up, maybe Jack Della to come back on Australia card at the end of the year or something with, Izzy and a few others. Who knows? But I like Jack Della here, and a finish makes him, legit guy in this 170 division. I think Emeev at this point, at 35, 36 years old, cutting down to 170, it's a point of diminishing returns. Those diminishing returns get you a split loss against Danny Roberts, and now you're coming into a fight with Jack Della. So
yeah, so we're both riding high on Jack here. And again, in the comments, if you disagree, I'd be shocked. But I mean, there's some people out there.
Emeev has been a favorite in all his UFC fights. I definitely see some disagreements.
He ain't going to be a favorite in this one. I'd be shocked if Jack is not the favorite.
Yeah, and also I believe Jack has fought. It's in Singapore, correct?
It is.
Yeah, I believe Jack's fought over in Singapore before as well, or at least over in Southeast Asia, being from Australia region. So it's just another, and I'm sure Emeev is familiar being an M1. Emeev with M1 and whatnot, but still, should be a good fight if Jack Della wins, and it should be a horrible fight if Emeev wins.
And that's it, exactly that. Awesome.